King of Zamunda, coming to America too. You know, we had to do this video here. Because, yo, that movie, oh my gosh, although it was well over 30 years to redo it, to me, man, I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan.
Yeah.
Like I said on some of my other videos, this guy is like one of the funniest ever. He's made a history on lying in movies, but it's funny. And he's not hurting nobody. That's what's so funny to lie in his professional career. But oh my gosh, what a disappointment, that Eddie made 30-something years later. It was not funny at all to me.
It wasn't like
that. It had moments, but it wasn't like, it was like part one.
One at a time?
Sorry.
Yeah, it had moments. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't that horrible either.
You don't think so?
It wasn't the greatest, but
Okay.
it wasn't that bad. It was not.
This is how I'm improving it. Name some iconic funny things. What I mean by iconic, we all could go to Coming to America 1, and we could name a whole bunch of iconic funny scenes. You know what I'm saying? Name, even though part 1 had this many iconic scenes, I'm not asking for this many. Name me one iconic funny thing in part 2.
It didn't.
It
it didn't. It
You know what I'm saying?
didn't. No, it didn't. But you can't expect to be the part 1 to be number 2.
No, but then again, a lot of people had high hopes for this movie because everybody was waiting for the sequel to come out.
About it wrong, and when they put too much emphasis on the movie because it was Eddie Murphy, and part 1 was like, oh my God.
Like you said, a lot of people wait. It's like the "Ready for the World" song. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming for you. What you gonna say?
No, I just really was upset about the whole. And like I said, it was moments, but it wasn't how the amount of laughter I had in part 1. I didn't have that amount of laughter in part 2.
Definitely.
I felt like the most interesting part of the whole movie was getting to see everybody come back together. Like, we got to see literally, it was every single character that was there in the first one was pretty much, except for the mother, was there. So it was really a thing
and the
of...
sister wasn't there neither from part 1.
Yeah, like first I was telling my dad, like, I felt like it was like a parody of the first one because they made like all the same jokes.
Like a reunion.
Yeah, and then I told him like, yeah, it felt like it was just a big reunion where everybody just came back and filmed another.
That's an excellent point. That's what it was more. It was more of a reunion, but it definitely was not funny. This how I could explain it, but it's still going to get the reviews because it's Eddie Murphy. And what I mean, I will keep saying, I'm a huge fan. But this is what I mean by it's still going to get it's going to get the attention. I'll give you a prime example. Let's take Michael Jackson. One of the greatest musicians ever, of all time, right? I bet you on any given day you could ask. Greatest of all time. Greatest dancer of all time. Here's what I'm going to prove my point. Michael Jackson, one of the greatest musicians of all time, right? On any given day, you could ask almost anybody, name some iconic songs of his. You can name them off the top of your head, right?
Yeah.
But it'll blow your mind if I tell you, you can name probably about 30 or more songs that you never even heard by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But the record sales of those songs that were garbage, they still sold a lot of money. Why? Because it's Michael Jackson. Because he already did the work on previous albums that when this album came out with all these garbage songs, may have one hit song on the whole album, it still sold because it's Michael Jackson. And that's the same thing with this Coming to America too. Because it's Eddie Murphy, it's still gonna sell. Yeah, it didn't go to the movies, went straight to Prime, Amazon Prime Video, but it's still, I bet you got one of the highest views yesterday when it came out Friday. Because it's Eddie Murphy.
I didn't feel like Eddie Murphy's energy in part 1 wasn't the same in part 2. Like, obviously he's older, but it just wasn't that funny to me.
It wasn't horrible, but it was okay.
I would have been mad if I went to the movies for this. I really would have been mad.
Between a 3 and a 4 star.
And see, I do get Molly's point too. Like she said, everybody has their own opinion. So, but even with people's opinion, it's like we all are blessed to have that. We all got our own opinion, and no one's opinion is fact. It's your opinion.
Right.
But a lot of people go along just to get along. It's like the slave on a slave plantation. It's okay for master to rape our kids. He treat us good. It's okay. See, he's a scared joker to speak of how, but this how he feels. This other slave don't feel that way. But it's an opinion. So that's you didn't feel like it was bad, but you still can't name me an iconic joke. Whereas in part one, I can name a whole bunch. Come tapes the suit.
Yeah.
Right? Get up! You ain't for great dude, mother effer! It's time to bring the dude. You know, all kind of. I did too meet Dr. Martin Luther King. I did too meet Frank Sinatra. All iconic stuff. If loving God is wrong, then I don't want to be right. That was
you forgot the in the face.
in the face. All iconic stuff. You know, but you can't name one on part two.
Yeah, no, not at all.
We got McDowell's. It's all iconic. You know, like, I was on mop detail. Now I'm on lettuce. Pretty soon I'm going to be on cash register. All iconic. We can name so many, but you can't
He
name
said they
one.
have the McFlurry. We have the McFlurry.
No, it was okay. Because some people could agree with me. It has some few funny parts. It wasn't horrible. Like some people say, oh, it was trash. No, it wasn't. It was okay. But you can't expect this to be part two to be part one. That's what makes it a little more different.
Part one is always going to be the best.
Oh,
But anyway.
iconic and classic. Never get
It's
over.
almost
But
like
yeah.
that with every movie.
I feel like Eddie Murphy only did that movie for two reasons. It was either because of the check that they were giving him for the movie, or because it was like a reunion from there.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was no other motivation for that. That's not boosting his career
Oh, my God.
anymore.
But
Nothing.
I tell
Like,
you this much, I wouldn't go to the movies to watch it.
And
but
remember,
Yeah.
you know, we
we-
sit down with family. And
We all
watch
stayed
it.
up late till everybody got home from the things that we was doing to watch it together as a family. You know, like we did the video. Y'all love our videos called Family Dinner. That's a great positive family video we did. Go to that and pull it up. Spinks for Integrity and press up Family Dinner. We watched it as a family. We waited until everybody got home, and we was all just like, "Oh my gosh, we waited for
Yeah,
this."
I had a few laughs. We all did had a little few laughs on it.
Now,
Here and
speaking of
there.
opinion, I gotta say this. It's just like, it reminds me of, like I said, everybody got their own opinion. Just because you might like eggs with cucumbers and red peppers, I don't like that. It's my opinion. It's mine. This is how I feel. But I do get your point. But it kind of reminds me of, like, it was an old movie called Zorro the Gay Blade, right? And in Zorro the Gay Blade, we know Zorro wears all black and he got the sword and he fights and he's tough. He's a man.
Right.
But Zorro had a twin brother, and his twin brother was gay. But nobody knew Zorro had a twin brother. And although Zorro was a tough man and wore all black, his brother wore fruity colors. He would wear all yellow banana. And instead of a sword, he had a whip. And he was whipping people with, and he would be like, and even when he was fighting, beating people up, they was all like, hey, why he's acting funny? He's acting funny like that. What's going on here? They didn't know. And the next day he'd show up in all purple with his purple whip. You know, and he would be doing these things. But the point I'm getting to about an opinion, it was a part in that movie, this movie like 30 years old. It was a part in that movie, Go to Opinions Again, where the gay Zorro was doing this lady's hair. And while he was doing her hair, right, he was steady doing her hair, and they was talking about another female, right? And the gay Zorro, he said, oh my gosh, because the lady said, you know, I hear she be with a lot of men. And then Zorro said, oh my gosh, honey, let me tell you, she's just like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. You get it? Mm-hmm. It's like, so he putting on his spin about, this what everybody think about her.
Yeah.
But, so that's why, maybe some get that joke, some don't. But my point is the opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
But I also feel, this is just me, like Judge Judy said, I don't care what you feel. I don't care what you think. But
Exactly.
I just feel like, man, what a disappointment. Because we such Eddie Murphy fans. I don't expect,
feel
like
like it
you
was
said,
just
it's
good.
supposed to be like one. But it was such a letdown. It was not one iconic joke in there, considering that part one had tons of them. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I don't feel like part two was a need. There was no need to make a part two.
It was like what Jada said. It was more like a reunion
Yeah.
rather than a funny movie.
And I feel like they just had too many people in the movie for
Good
no
point.
reason.
Good point. We're going to throw all these actors in here to make it funny.
Yeah, I mean, they were all beautiful, like beautiful black people in the movie, but it was just unnecessary to have all that many people.
and then it was like, okay, it's Coming to America Part 2, and most of the movie was spent in Africa.
Did you know there was no white people in there? You're right.
No, there was one white girl.
I saw.
I noticed that. I was.
It was-
It was like at a party.
Yeah, it
I
was
like, why
people
is
they
she-
didn't really show.
Yeah,
it was
you
quick
have to
on the
really
scene.
look.
I like how
I
Eddie
mean,
do
you
that.
don't want to always say look past the
Yeah,
character.
because y'all know in the movie Boomerang, Eddie Murphy was And the white people was bad people in that movie.
I never watched
a lot
that
of people
movie.
went over their head.
In this movie, I think he literally had that one white girl, and that's it. And she wasn't even a character.
Yeah, Boomerang, he made the white people the way Hollywood always do, making black people look dumb, incompetent, and all that. He did that in Boomerang. He made them the
I
bad
never
people.
watched that.
Yeah. But anything else?
No, that was pretty much
Big Eddie Murphy fans.
Yeah.
One of the funniest ever, but like my daughter behind the camera says, this was more like a reunion movie, not a funny movie. To me, it was a letdown. It was like, wow. But I'm still an Eddie Murphy fan because you know why? Evil is good. That's why I think. That's why I think evil good. What you think? What you think? Evil is good. Now remember, that was Vampire in Brooklyn. It wasn't a funny movie, but it had some funny, iconic scenes.
But we like to hear for you what you guys got to say.
Subscribe,
I think
like,
the movie
comment.
was okay. It wasn't hilarious. It was a little better than one, but it was good. It was okay.
Remember Vampire in Brooklyn when he killed the preacher and he got fat? He walked into the church. But remember, he a vampire, so when he walked into church, he started melting. And when he walked in, as he was melting, he was like, God damn! And the people in the church was like, what did he say? And then he was like, oh, I said, goddamn to those that don't believe in the Lord. Eddie, one of the funniest ever. But yo, on that note, anything last? Subscribe, share, like, and comment. We still support it, regardless. But it wasn't iconic like the other one. We don't expect it to be just like the other one. But it didn't have not one iconic joke. That's my perspective. Still go watch it. Support Eddie always. Shoot. Donkey, all that junk. He's funny as heck. On that note, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Peace.